What's up, everybody? It's Neil from Toronto Condos. We are pre-construction real estate brokers. We help people buy pre-construction real estate to live in or for investment within the Greater Toronto Area. We make the process easier by providing lots of information to people and by having a no pressure approach. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. You can click on the link below to subscribe or hit the like button. Also hit the notification bell so you get alerted when new videos come out like this one. So let's get right into the video. Today I want to talk about the pre-construction projects that exist in the Greater Toronto Area and how overwhelming it is to pick a project. Just this week I got contacted by two different people, one in Dubai and one in Vancouver, that are looking to buy pre-construction real estate within the Greater Toronto Area. One of the big concerns they have is they didn't know which project to pick. With so many projects, people can get overwhelmed and get into an analysis paralysis situation. You don't want that to be you, and you don't want to analyze too much, because the longer you take to pull the trigger to buy pre-construction real estate in Toronto and the Greater Toronto Area, the more prices rise. So today I want to talk about what it is that you need to look out for when you're looking to buy pre-construction real estate and pre-construction condos. Number one, you have to know what your budget is. If, for example, you are an investor and your budget is $1 million, the areas and projects that you're looking in will be quite different than somebody whose budget is $425,000. For you, maybe you're looking at downtown projects where you can get excellent units. So if your budget is high, $1 million, maybe you go right to downtown Toronto as an investor. If your budget is much lower, say $400,000 to $425,000, let's pick $425,000, then of course you have to look at areas other than downtown Toronto. You have to look at areas that have great opportunity, great potential, but are outside of the downtown core. And there are a lot of areas. Outside of the core, you can find a lot of good projects. You can go to the suburbs, or even in Toronto as well, you can find excellent projects for a lower price point. So number one, you have to know what your budget is, and based on your budget, that leads into our next point, is location. Location is very important. If you're an investor, you obviously want to be in an area that's connected to transportation. Perhaps you want to be in a AAA area, or you want to invest in areas that are undergoing massive regentrification. Example of areas that are going through massive regentrification are the stockyards. We did a video on Scout Condos and Reunion Crossing, which you can watch right here. We'll put the link above. So location is very important. You want to be connected to transportation, and you want to be either in a AAA area or you want to be in an area that's regentrifying. You want to make sure that you're not buying a project in the middle of nowhere that's not connected to any transportation. So when you're looking through the dozens and dozens of projects that you find on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you're finding them, you have to look first at what is your budget, what can you afford, and what is the location that you want to focus in on. That will help narrow things down for you. The next one is deposit structure. So if you're somebody who has the full 20% upfront, you don't really need to worry about the deposit structure. But if you're somebody that maybe has, say, 15% saved and you're saving the final 5%, maybe you want to look at a project that has a extended deposit structure. And that way you can feel comfortable pacing yourself as you pay the deposit. Developers now are doing extended deposit structures, so it's not uncommon to find projects with extended deposit structures. There's a fantastic project in downtown Toronto, River and Fifth, that has a phenomenal extended deposit structure. If you're somebody that's looking for a project in a great area that has an extended deposit structure, check out the link to our video up here, and you can watch the info on River and Fifth. So when you're looking to buy a pre-construction condo and pre-construction real estate, you have to look at a number of factors. You have to look at what is your budget, what's the location you're looking in, what's the deposit structure. Don't get overwhelmed with so many options. There are too many options out there, and it's very easy for people to feel overwhelmed as they're looking through all the options that come about. Another factor that some people don't look at is, what are the mortgage approval requirements? When you're buying pre-construction real estate and pre-construction condos, there often is a mortgage approval requirement that you have to meet and provide a mortgage pre-approval to the developer. If that's no issue for you, then of course you can buy in any development. But say for instance you own a portfolio of properties, maybe you're self-employed, and some developers are offering no mortgage pre-approval, but you're financially strong and financially sound, then maybe you consider taking that route and purchasing a unit there. Concord is Canada's largest community developer. They've got fantastic projects in downtown Toronto and in North York. They're a developer that does not require a mortgage pre-approval and is a great fit for investors that own multiple properties or people that are self-employed. You can watch a video to one of our Concord projects up here. So when it comes down to pre-construction real estate, you have to really take a step back. You have to know that you're going to be bombarded with information. It's going to be completely overwhelming, the amount of options that there are. On our desk as pre-construction brokers, we're hit with so many projects on a daily basis. Sometimes it's tough for us to keep up. But what you have to do is you have to really drill down. You have to drill down on your budget. Determine what your budget is and base where you search based on what your budget is. If you've got a budget of $375,000, you have no business looking in downtown Toronto. If your budget is $1 million and you're an investor and you want to have a AAA location, then you look downtown Toronto. If, say, you've got a budget between $400,000 to $500,000, there are so many options for you in the suburbs. When it comes down to deposit structure, know what your financial situation is and know how much money you have saved up. If you've got all the money saved up for a down payment, then you don't really need to look for an extended deposit structure with a particular developer. But if you need time in order to save a little bit more, then perhaps you go with a developer that's offering an extended deposit structure that will allow you to accumulate the deposit over a longer period of time. And then lastly, the mortgage pre-approval. If you have a lot of properties, or if you're self-employed or something's really non-standard but you're financially strong, you should consider going for a development with a developer that has a no mortgage pre-approval. Concord is a great example of that. So to wrap up, I know it's extremely overwhelming when you're looking at pre-construction real estate. You can feel really bogged down and overwhelmed with the amount of options there are. The more you search, the more overwhelming it can seem to get. But just take a step back, determine your budget, determine your location, know what sort of deposit structure you need, and then determine if you need to have a mortgage pre-approval done or if you can go in without one. And of course, if you have any questions, we're happy to help. You can reach out to us anytime. We're pre-construction real estate brokers. We help people buy pre-construction real estate to live in or for investment. We want to make the process easier by providing lots of information to people and by bringing trust back into the real estate industry. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.